Hi there from Waikiki. I totally agree. It is time for us to wake up. We who still love America. It is time to bring back everything that we were doing in the 60s, which is questioning the dominant paradigm. It's time to really, really wake up. I've actually written a book about waking up, which I'd like to show you here. It's called Uncle Tom's Classroom. I taught school for the public school system from kindergarten through the 8th grade. Began in the Peace Corps, worked in the Teacher Corps, worked for the government as a good little Uncle Tom to the government. And I noticed during my teaching career, I began to realize that I was a pawn, that I had become an Uncle Tom, and that I was teaching the little kids in my classrooms the party line, how to be a good little capitalist, how to be a good little militarist, how to expand American dominance around the world, thinking that we're the best, that we have the answers for everybody, that we have a right to all of the resources all around the world, including the third world, that we have a right just because we're us. Uh, I began to notice in the classroom that there really was no free speech. I had no free speech, my children had no free speech, and we were all being brainwashed and programmed into being Uncle Toms. I really so appreciate people like Lou Dobbs. I would love to get this book on Lou Dobbs, Uncle Tom's Classroom, How One Public School Teacher Awakened His Students to the Cosmic Super Self Within, meaning that we're universal beings, and when you allow children to wake up to their own intelligence, their own cosmic intuitiveness, they know exactly how to educate themselves. All you need is a computer these days, and a child can literally learn anything they want to. The point of my book and the point of this video right now is to thank all of you who are beginning the process that we began in the 60s of trying to wake up from the dominant paradigm, this militaristic, materialistic, consumeristic programming that teaches us that we are these little victim entities called human beings, when we really are cosmic super beings. We are amazing beings with incredibly ornate strands of DNA. Quantum physicists are just discovering that have abilities which we haven't even begun to develop because they're not being addressed in the public school system. What is being addressed in the public school system is the brainwashing. It's the program, the Brave New World. From kindergarten on, it's teaching kids to be little, incarcerated, imprisoned little egos, where they fight with each other, they're taught to compete with each other, they're taught to be better than and worse than, they're taught that competitiveness is great. Then you add on the video games where they're taught that violent killing is fun. Then you add on a government that perpetrates a tragedy like No Child Left Behind, and you get a school system that has turned into a terrorist system, a terrorist organization. And let me tell you, I've been there, I know. I taught every grade in many, many, many schools, and I saw how children are being terrorized unmercifully, humiliated. I know that the Supreme Court banned public hitting in schools, but they have not even begun to address public humiliation. And that goes on every single day. Children are picked out and yelled at for not following the program, for not doing what they're told. And what the system is telling them to do is get disconnected from who you really are, get disconnected from your following your bliss, as Joseph Campbell would say. Don't follow your bliss. Don't think about what you want to think about. Don't think freely. Certainly don't question the paradigm. What you do is you read in this textbook, not this one, this is free speech, this is what we wrote together, my students and I, how to wake up from becoming Uncle Toms while there's still time. But the textbooks that we were forced to use, we were teaching incredibly archaic, old-fashioned math. We were teaching social studies and a history without any more ethics. I mean, we were taught, we were using books that made America's manifest destiny. It made it seem as if America was meant to control the world, and so when we attacked Iraq, it seemed kind of logical. Well, we'd already taken half of the Southwest from Mexico, and we'd already taken the land from the Indians, and we'd taken so many other things that we wanted just because it was supposedly the destiny of Washington, D.C., the new Rome, to do this, that it wasn't even being questioned. And in my classroom, Bergland by the Sea in San Francisco, we closed those books, and we began to write a new book. This book, Uncle Tom's Classroom, or How to Wake Up from the Brainwashing. Dwight Eisenhower warned us. Dwight Eisenhower, I actually heard his speech say the military-industrial complex is going to try to take over the agenda of the American dream, and they have. So I'm in here right now in Hawaii. There's the lights of Waikiki out there, asking you to check out my website at www.uncletomsclassroom.com to find out what my students and I did when we closed the textbooks and when we stopped the anger and the competitiveness, when we allowed free speech and we followed Joseph Campbell's idea of following your bliss in the classroom. What amazing adventures took off. We put up the sign, Know Thyself, in front of the classroom, and we proceeded to do everything we possibly could to search who we really are. And what we came to discover was that we are cosmic super beings with incredible talents and abilities which are being actually squished out of us. Actually, when you think about it, we were born happy. We were born loving life. We were born loving sex. We were born loving to question. We were born knowing how to have fun. We were born loving the planet. And all of those natural inclinations, those natural universal cosmic loves, were squished out of us by the controlling paradigms, by the controlling systems, whether it be an ignorant familial system or an ignorant social system, cultural system, school system, religious system, or political system, or economic system. The way that capitalism is taught as the only way is absolutely brainwashing. It isn't the only way. I was in a socialistic village in the Peace Corps down in Venezuela in the Amazon, and I saw people working together, and I don't know that that isn't a slightly better way of interfacing with reality and helping your fellow man. Certainly capitalism isn't the final answer, nor is military dictatorship or obsessive militaristic dominance and control. Washington, D.C. is like the new Roman Empire, and No Child Left Behind is their way of turning kids into non-thinking little Uncle Toms. So anyway, check out my book, Uncle Tom's Classroom, and let's wake up our kids out of the dream so they can become the new civilization, the new race, the divine, human, cosmic super race that we are here to do and to be. We are on the verge of a quantum leap, an actual quantum leap in our evolution as a species, and it will only take 1%, it is said, theorized, of us to wake up to what we're doing to each other. I mean, just look at the 20th century. My God, hundreds of millions of people killed in the name of the ego, militaristic brainwashing cult that controlled most of the prominent and dominant cultures. I mean, we've got to wake up. Kids are able to wake up when they're given free speech and free discourse and free thought. They really are. And they discover they don't have to be Uncle Toms. They can find their own bliss. They can follow their bliss. So, aloha from Hawaii, and I will be talking to you real soon.